All right, guys, the Utah Jazz lose to the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis and Dame both score 35, but the player I'm excited about, well, we'll talk about him in a second. Let's talk about his Hoops Nerd postgame show. All right, guys, so the Utah Jazz lose to the Milwaukee Bucks, and we'll just talk about the Bucks quickly tonight. There's not a lot to say. Giannis and Dame are incredible. Giannis plays 36, very much top 3 player in the NBA. Anyone who disagrees, it's just kind of ridiculous. 35 points, 18 rebounds, 7 assists. Utah rested Walker Kessler in this one, likely because they're playing tomorrow, but also because Giannis gets a free run to the basket against the Jazz if Kessler's not playing, and this is what happens. 35 points, 18 rebounds, 7 assists. But either way, Giannis would have played really well. To be honest, it didn't really matter whether... I mean, Kessler would have probably slowed him down a little bit. The rebounds probably go down. He probably goes down in scoring a little bit, but Giannis is this good. He's going to put up these numbers anyway. He's a dominant force. And then what's nice for the Bucks is that Damian Lillard has really figured it out. This Bucks team has been winning a lot lately. It wasn't that long ago that the Bucks were near the top of the tankathon standings, and we were all worried that they were going to get the pick that Utah wanted. And so obviously it's a patience game in the NBA. Things change real quick, and now this Bucks team is like, I think, 4th in the, let's just look really fast, 4th in Eastern Conference standings. After tonight, yep, still 4th, and it looks like they're about 3.5 games. I don't know if they're going to overtake the Knicks, but 4th is pretty good. A first-round matchup against the Pacers, you got to be pretty happy about that if you're a Bucks fan, if that holds. And the Pacers seem to be playing pretty well, so we'll see if this stays the same, but more or less, those teams are likely going to meet each other come playoff time, and that should be fun. But I think I probably give the nod to the Bucks. Giannis is just such a force, and you can play him 40 to 45 minutes, and he's just going to bring all that force for that amount of time. Let's talk about the Jazz. Not a ton to say. There's 2 major points I wanted to talk about tonight. One is Lauri Markkanen. It is another game where Lauri Markkanen shoots the ball from 3 poorly. This is now becoming kind of an extended slump, and his field goal percentage for the year, I mean, let's pull this up and just look at it really quick, but he goes 2 for 12 tonight from 3. You know, this is different than the young guys. This is Lauri Markkanen, who's an established veteran now. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is year 8. 35% from 3. In fact, is that his lowest? That is the lowest percentage now of his career. So he is having a career low percentage shooting it from 3. And we talked about it last time. This may be just him, on a tanking team. He's not going to put too much effort into it. But then I wonder, but 2 for 12? I mean, that's what you're known for, right? That's what everyone says. One of the best off-ball three-point shooters, and he's shooting 35% from 3, right? So I don't know. He should be knocking more of those down, right? That's $50 million. You would expect that he would be knocking those down. And it could be, like we said, it very much could just be the tanking and losing, and you're just not going to put a lot of effort into a season where maybe you're not. But then at the same time, it's like, well, wouldn't you expect a little bit more force, a little bit more shots to go down? It's just been a while since we've seen him have a great dominant game. And it could be because of the point guards and, Keontae George has struggled, but now Collier's starting and he's playing much more pure point guard and doing a great job. And we're still seeing stuff like this. So I don't know what the deal is. Colin Sexton is playing well. He's starting. He's doing this with Kessler, without Kessler. I don't know what it takes to get Lauri Markkanen to knock these shots down, but it's just not happening. And it makes me wonder too, I mean, the Jazz sat him for back spasms, and I think a lot of people were joking, oh, the Jazz are sitting their players and all of a sudden they're playing when they're playing good teams. Well, he might just have back spasms. He might just legit be hurt. But then that also brings up some questions. I mean, this is starting to become a little bit of a regularity where Markkanen misses about 10 or so games per season, but then more at times. And the idea I think a lot of Jazz fans have is that after the Jazz this lottery season, if they win the lottery and get Cooper Flagg, you can have a team of like Cooper Flagg and Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler and whoever starts at 1 or 2. I mean, I guess what we're looking at right now, it might be Collier, but even with that, I don't know if the Jazz are ready. But the injury thing is starting to be a little bit worrisome. Is Markkanen, I mean, you gotta just accept the reality. He's a 7-foot player running out on the perimeter a lot. That is going to be hard on his legs and back. And for him to have the back spasms, it's something to watch. It is something to watch. And I think that if Utah is really smart and they get a really great offer this summer, you got to think about that, because if Taylor Hendricks can turn into what you hope he can, if you do win the lottery and you get someone like Cooper Flagg or Ace Bailey at that 3 spot, the defensive potential there is much better. And then you look at Collier and what he does defensively and what he's doing on the offensive end as well. The way you can just fill this team with athleticism. We were talking about it on the playback. By the way, if you're not watching with us on playback, what are you doing? It's a lot of fun. Go to playback right now, search SLC Dunk, and just follow it. You can watch the game through playback with me and all the other Jazz fans there. It's a lot of fun. We're really building a cool community that's filled with a lot of people from the Hoops Nerd Show. But anyways, you don't want to be stuck with a player with back spasms in 2 seasons that you could have gotten 3 first-round picks. And if Taylor Hendricks looks really good next year, and all signs are pointing that he's going to be fine, I mean, it's interesting stuff. It's just some questions Utah's going to have to answer next offseason. But I would expect Markkanen to make more shots than this. Right? Am I crazy to think that Utah's $50 million player that's known for hitting threes to hit some threes? It's just kind of becoming an extended slump, and at some point he's got to get out of that. Micah Potter started tonight. He went 1 for 7. Not much to say there. Drew Eubanks, 10 rebounds. I love Drew Eubanks. There are some people out there on some of the national pods that think that other teams are going to come asking for Drew Eubanks, and I don't want to trade Drew Eubanks. There's nothing out there that I think is worth trading Drew Eubanks. Utah has enough picks. I don't care about second-round picks. I'm much more worried about trading the other Jazz veterans. I love Drew Eubanks. I love the mentality he brings, the toughness, the leadership, everything. I'm a fan. So do not trade Drew Eubanks, Jazz. Keep him. Colin Sexton tonight, he nearly got in a fight with Andre Jackson. I love Colin Sexton. He also needs to be traded, but you got to just appreciate Colin Sexton while he's on the team. Nice night for him. 19 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. He also just has this incredible efficiency that he continues to just put up. Impressive stuff. All right, we got to talk about the second thing tonight. I'm starting to get really excited about Isaiah Collier. Really excited. He has taken this point guard role. Keontae George is coming off the bench because the reality is Isaiah Collier is just playing better and just is bringing more to the table right now. I think Keontae George can earn back his spot, but he's going to have to earn it back from Colin Sexton, because I think Isaiah Collier is the point guard of the future for the Utah Jazz. If Keontae George, and I'm rooting for Keontae George, you guys know I'm rooting for him, but that shot's got to start falling and he's got to stop taking bad shots. By the way, he had 5 assists. He took 13 shots. This should be about 10. There is like 2 or 3 shots he takes that he just should not be taking. Every time he drives to the basket, good things happen. It's honestly every single time. And he's got to be more pass first, 3-point shot later, drive first. The 3-point shot has got to be more secondary for Keontae George. It just has to be. So many good things happen when he drives. But anyways, Isaiah Collier, it's time to start getting pretty excited, Jazz fans. One of the things you're doing when you have all these picks is you're just taking shots in the draft to hopefully find one that hits. It is not, I mean, we can't forget, and there was one point, I even tweeted it last year, I was hoping that we could get the number 1 pick to pick this guy. You know what I mean? Like, if you win, I was thinking, you might take, and then he dropped in the draft. Utah gets him at the end of the first round, and he is showing all the things that made people excited about him as a potential number 1 pick in honestly a very bad draft. But I tell you what, Utah got They might have gotten the steal of that draft. And not a lot of people are talking about it because it's Utah and whatever, and they're losing. So, they're not going to pay too much attention. But Isaiah Collier is putting up big-time numbers. He is figuring out his shot. He goes 6 for 9 tonight, and these were not like simple things. This was him creating his own shot. Look, let's just watch him. I don't even care. Look at all these shots. He is getting to the basket and figuring out. Look at how he just runs. He scores in transition here. This float shot is what gets me excited. This is where you get really excited about Collier. He knows how to push it in transition. So you see right here, he's got Dame. He says, oh, I'll take this. And that's a shot blocking Brook Lopez. He just takes that floater shot right over him. I'm so excited about what we're seeing from Collier. Look at that, a steal. He drives all the way. He's just faster than everybody. That's crazy town. This was why people were thinking about him as a top 5 pick. He comes up here. Look how fast he is. He turns everything. Look at how he just knocks Andre Jackson out of the way like a rag doll. Get out of my way. Drives and scores. Pull-up jump shot. Are you serial? Drives. Get out of my way. Chris Middleton. Every time I yell, I hiccup. He is just shoving guys out of the way. This is impressive stuff, guys. Look at this. That's there all day. They cannot stop him. And then look at this running dunk. Another steal in transition. Look at this. It's time to start getting excited about Isaiah Collier because he is doing everything you'd want him to see. And by the way, he is in the 30% three-point shooting his last 7, 8, 9 games. There's a reason he has earned that starting point guard role. The guy absolutely needs to be developed. Utah may have, there's been lots of, I've had a lot of wishful thinking with Keontae George, and I still think he has a real shot to prove himself. But he's got to start making shots, and he's got to start showing improvement, and it's been slow going, and he's had a lot of opportunity. We didn't get to see Taylor Hendricks this year, which sucks a lot, so I hope we get to see him next year. But one thing you're doing is you're just hoping that one of these guys becomes part of your core championship team. And if the Utah Jazz are in a championship game, let's say 3-4 years from now, when all these guys are in their prime that they're drafting, this year's draft, next year's draft, all these guys who they potentially trade for too, I think Isaiah Collier has what it takes to be a starting point guard on a championship team. He may not be the best player on that team, maybe not even the second or third best player, but absolutely this is the type of stuff you'll see from a guy that can be a champion in the NBA. Defense on one end, offense on the other. He is extremely unselfish. Look at this, 27 minutes and he gets 8 assists, 12 points on efficiency. He is not an elite three-point shooter yet, so he's just not taking them, but he's still finding a way to be super effective. He is so fast and so strong that they can't stop him. Now, the three-point shot has to come because in the finals, when you're playing the likes of the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Boston Celtics, and teams of that caliber, you have to have a three-point shot because they will do things to take away your strengths. But we've seen him do it. So this offseason, if Collier can just continue to improve that three-point shot, Utah has an absolute weapon and a piece for the future. The guy is also just seems like a great guy. He is not afraid of anyone. You can tell he's tough. He's had scuffles with guys, and he does not care. And he is throwing guys out of the way. I cannot believe he took Andre Jackson and Chris Middleton and just said, nope, get out of my way, and scores. That is exciting stuff. I hope you guys are watching these games because Isaiah Collier is turning himself into the story of this season for the Utah Jazz. It is impressive stuff. Now, doesn't mean that we shouldn't talk about Bryce Sensabaugh, who went 5 for 8 from 3 tonight, or Keontae George, who's improving in different ways. Assists. He did shoot the ball better tonight. Nice to see. He's just got some improvement. But it's pretty exciting when you see a player that already kind of gets it. He's already making the right shots. He has a game winner. The guy is fearless, is fast. He's strong. I mean, it's pretty crazy stuff. And to get him at the end of the first round, and I mean, honestly, you look at the rookie rankings. I think the NBA has the Kia NBA rookie ladder. Let's see. Let's just see where the NBA has these guys. In fact, we got to start doing this on SLC Dunk. But Alex Sarr, number 1. Stephon Castle. Let's see how long it takes before we get to. Oh, they're not watching. That's why you got to read SLC Dunk. These bums, they don't even know. It will not be long before we start seeing Isaiah Collier show up on that, because these guys are just absolute box score watchers. What a bunch of losers. But Isaiah Collier is proving it. For those who know ball and who watch ball, they're seeing it. This guy is a stud. I'm telling you right now, I'm pretty darn excited. This is what you wanted. You wanted to just have as many shots at the draft as you can, so that when you get that guy, you get it. This is what you do. And if Utah gets a top 2, top 3, top 4 pick in this draft, you're looking at really absolute core pieces for the future. I still have super high hopes for Taylor Hendricks. He may not pan out at all. We'll see, but there were some real signs. But if Utah let's say Utah wins Cooper Flagg, Walker Kessler, if they decide to keep, I'm starting to get into the point, guys, and this is just me being honest. I'm getting to the point where I would much rather keep Kessler and trade Markkanen next year if we have, because at a certain point, if you believe in Taylor Hendricks and you want to become a defensive team, we talked about that last show and what you have to become. Lauri Markkanen is just not a very good defensive player, arguably pretty bad. And then you put someone like Taylor Hendricks, who has incredible defensive potential and shooting on the floor, with someone like Collier, who looks like a really nice point of attack defender. If you get someone like Cooper Flagg, who's going to be a all defense type player, and then you put that with Walker Kessler, you can see where that's going and the potential of where that could be. It's exciting stuff. It's something that gets me excited. It gets me going in the morning. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Also, it was kind of fun to see Jordan Clarkson come back tonight. He scored 13 points. He was a +8 in 21 minutes. Fun to see Jordan Clarkson. You got to appreciate Jordan Clarkson while he's on the team, because I don't know how long it'll be, although it could be just another year next year, because there may not be a team out there that wants to trade for Jordan Clarkson. So who knows? Anyways, guys, that's all I got tonight. We had a long one last one. This one's not going to be quite as long. Shout out to Bryce Sensabaugh for shooting 5 for 8 from 3, though. That guy can absolutely shoot the lights out. I'm just kind of curious, because he went through a little mini slump. He's averaging 10.1 points per game. Pretty cool stuff. Look at this. Field goal 46, 3-point percentage down to 39. He was at like 40 something, but nice to see him go back to 39. I don't know if that includes tonight's, so that may jump to back to the 40%. Who knows? But anyways, guys, also Elijah Harkless. Shout out to Elijah Harkless, who's quietly kind of a fun player to watch in his short minutes. I don't know if he's anything, but he's fun. He's fun. He may be something, he may be nothing. We'll see, but he's certainly interesting. He's a little undersized, but he absolutely plays defense, and he'll hit some threes. I don't know, what is he shooting actually. It's probably not fair to look at this, because how many shots has he even taken, but he is shooting 30% from 3. So probably not fair, probably too quick to judge, but he's pretty fun. I recommend watching Elijah Harkless. He's fun. All right, let's pull this up. Let's just see what would happen tonight. Utah is locking down that number 2 spot, guys. It has me super excited. We saw the Pelicans play was it the Hornets today? And I think the Hornets, did the Pelicans win? Oh, they lost. Who did they play? Oh, no, the Hornets played the Raptors today, who've now won 4 in a row. Utah is now 4 games up on the Raptors. That's great. So really well done stuff by the Utah Jazz. Ryan Smith, Danny Ainge, they're doing a great job. I need to tweet more about it. In fact, I'll do that tonight. I know it makes people mad whenever I say anything online, but I don't care. Let's see. All right. Or maybe I do care. Maybe that's why I'm talking about it. I don't know. Whatever. All right, guys. So tonight, this is the lottery standings. Utah has done an incredible job putting themselves in the best possible position to win the number 1 overall pick, while also raising their floor. Utah can go no lower than 6 by being in the 2 spot. That is part of it. Utah has the same odds to win the number 1 as Washington, and they have also made it so that they can drop no lower than 6. Ideally, you want to be in the 1 because you can go no lower than 5. It is what it is. But, you know, worst case scenario is 6, and I'm fine with that. So that means it's win no matter what for Utah. Obviously, we're hoping for lottery luck. So what happens tonight? If the lottery was today... Yeah! Yeah! Number 1 pick for the Utah Jazz. Get Cooper Flagg in a Utah Jazz jersey right now. Yes! 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 Number 1 pick, baby! Let's go! Utah also gets the number 19 pick. So who does that get? Us. Cooper Flagg is coming to Utah, baby! Yeah! And then Utah gets, what do they get from Minnesota? 19. Guys, I have the weirdest body in the world. I can't freaking yell or I get the hiccups. Utah gets Hugo Gonzalez. By the way, looking really nice for Spain recently. He's getting more minutes, looking like a defensive. At one point, Hugo Gonzalez, before the season started, was considered a top 5 pick. He's fallen to 17, but you could do worse. You could do worse. A 6'6" guy that plays defense. Dre, who are you talking about during the SLC dunk chat or playback? I can't remember. There's this guy that's like 6'6" that plays for San Diego State. He's not even in the top. Where is he? What's his name? He plays for San Diego State. I forgot his name. I won't look it up right now, but there's some real steals in this draft too, guys. The draft is starting to adjust. Utah gets Cooper Flagg. All is well in Jazzland, baby. Could you imagine how exciting that would be to win the number 1 pick? Absolutely incredible. Incredible, incredible, incredible. All right, guys, let's give a shout out to the All-Stars tonight. Let's give a shout out to I Believe in Steve, Jazz Exile, Ryan Edward Perry, the legend, Baby Elliott Madsen, See Ya, Alexa Later, Christian House Money to Haas, Jordan the Goat Best Roll, Austin our Grant Editor Extraordinaire, KG10 to TH5 the OG, and Patrick Akubo, the Connoisseur. Guys, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn the bell on, guys. If you haven't already, turn on the bell so you know when we go live. How else will you know if we go live? Hit that bell. Guys,